I've read 130 books in 2022. In 2021, I read 104. In 2020, I read 60. And then in 2019, I read something like 25. And then before that, I was probably reading about 20 a year. So what changed is I started prioritizing reading. It's something that I do essentially every day. It's something I do in a variety of ways. So I read a lot of different kinds of books. I read whatever makes me happy. I read whenever I have some spare time. I have an e-reader. I read physical books. I listen to audiobooks while I do other things such as chores or playing video games or making crafts or walking places. So the steady increase in my love of reading has also led to a steady increase in my Goodreads goals. So this year and last year's Goodreads goals of 104 books was reflective of reading about 2 books a week. 2 times 52 weeks in a year being 104. But I've beat that goal and I'm pushing, and I think I'll probably make it to about 140, maybe even 150, we'll see how December goes, books in 2022. Does that mean I should raise my Goodreads goal? Honestly, no. No way, no way, no way, no way. I am at capacity. I'm at capacity. This is what I realized in the last week or two. Okay, because I'm tired. I'm at capacity. I like doing other things too. I like watching TV shows. I like hanging out with my friends. I like not obsessing over numbers. There's no reason to give yourself more stress in your life. Also, you'll notice that my reading increased substantially during the pandemic. We had very strict lockdowns in Quebec, especially in Montreal. We had 8 p.m. curfews for months at a time, twice, which was really rough. We had very strict no gathering limits. Books really helped. I was also doing my PhD at the time, which was an isolating experience, and I had to do so much lab work. So I got into the habit of listening to books while I'm doing lab work or doing rote data analysis and stuff. So I got really used to just constantly be surrounded by various books, and I got really into it. But I don't want to put pressure on myself. I don't think it's fair to put pressure on yourself when it comes to your hobby. If your reading goal motivates you, that's great. I have reading goals that motivate me. And I want my Goodreads goal to stay that way. I want it to remain achievable for me. I know that right now at my pace, 2 books a week is very achievable. However, if that changes, if I get a more demanding job or end up in a life situation that just means I have way less time to read, I'm going to adjust my goal down. But I'm definitely not going to adjust my goal up. I don't want to stress about being behind on something arbitrary. Also, I want to enjoy books. You know how nice it is to enjoy a book and not stress? And not think, oh, I have to read this by this date so I can read that one and then that one and then that one and then that one, or what? Or what? What's gonna happen? Seriously, no one's gonna judge you. No one's gonna think you're dumb. Goodreads goals are just for fun. That's really all they should be. They should be fun. They should be a way of keeping you, a little bit accountable, a little bit motivated. I really like to set 2 types of goals for myself, one of them being easily achievable and one of them being impossible, so I can fall somewhere in the middle of those 2 goals. So my easily achievable goal right now is 2 books a week, because that's just sort of my natural pace with my current schedule. If things get more intense in my life, I'll probably drop that down to 1 book a week, maybe 2 books a month. It'll completely depend on what's going on in my life. And then my over and beyond goals, those are my TBRs. If you've seen any of my TBR videos, you'll know that I sometimes put 20 books on a monthly TBR. I've never read 20 books in a month, and I know I won't read all those books. But a girl likes to dream, and those kind of goals motivate me. But I also know that they're not actually immediately achievable, and that's okay. That's actually kind of part of the point. I want to keep myself motivated, I want to leave room for growth, but I want to enjoy the journey as much as possible. So am I increasing my Goodreads goal this year? Absolutely not. Should you? If you want to. But do it for the right reasons. Do it because it makes you happy and because it motivates you. If it stresses you out, if you're trying to impress someone, if this is a status thing for you, if you just think you should increase it just because if you don't, you're a bad person and a bad reader. No, none of that's real. You know none of that's real. As long as you read any book, you are a reader. If you want to be a reader, then heck, you're a reader. Do you know how many adults in North America haven't read a book since high school? A lot. Do you know how many high schoolers don't read books that they don't have to? Also a lot. If you're reading, you're doing enough. Don't put more pressure on yourself than you need to. We put way too much pressure on ourselves. I know I do. So if, like me, you're at capacity right now and you're stressing about meeting a Goodreads goal, or you think, oh, I did so much better than I meant to, I can increase my Goodreads goal, reflect on whether that's actually pressure that's going to be useful to you, or whether that's pressure that's just going to stress you out. Don't compare yourself to other people. Like I said, right now, this year, I'm close to reading 150 books in a year. Most of my life, I read about 20 books in a year. A lot of other years, other times in my life, it was way less than that. And I've always been a reader. Whether you're reading one book or 100 in a year, you're a reader. Enjoy that, embrace that, you're doing great. Have a good rest of your day, be kind to yourself, and enjoy your next read.